Hey, my lovely Willow Vibes Tribe members. I am Jessica from Willow Vines Intuitive Vibes. I don't know if this video is going to be a little lower or not. The audio should be fine, but it is a little after 3 in the morning. Actually, it's 3:32 right now on Tuesday, June 6th, 2023. So it's 6/6 today, which would be what, 6/6/5 or 6/6/7 technically. But anyways, if you break down the numbers and stuff. But regardless of the date, I got woken up and I'm pretty wide awake because I had a dream and it feels very significant. So I just wanted to share it to see what it means to anyone else. Just because of certain energies that have come up, especially when it pertains to people wreaking havoc on your life, on others, like within an unhealthy situation when people mean you or someone else ill will. Um, there's retribution coming, that's for damn sure, and it's so crazy how this stuff lines up when, I don't know, I'm a little blown away at the moment, just saying. But anyways, someone was messing with something they didn't understand, is what I want to say. They didn't realize, I guess, the ramifications of their actions or the repercussions for their actions, because I don't know if whoever did, because this is some type of ritual and it has to do with like necromancy, which I've explained before. It's weird how I've broken down little things before surrounding a problem and what people could be doing, what I was picking up on in like bits and pieces, because it kind of feels like it's all together. And it's like little explanations, they all add up to, all the details add up to something much bigger, basically. So, like when I was explaining necromancy and whatever, it's not like you see in the movies. It's not, it is controlling the dead or trying to. Having them do your bidding for you, basically, no matter if it's a god, a goddess, or just someone on the other side, regardless of who someone's praying to, good or evil. Doesn't feel like it's very good. It was just whatever this was, whoever was doing this and whatever was done with bad intentions, to cause problems for another person or to actually harm another person. It just depends on their intent, because I don't really know the full intent here, because that's not what this dream was about. And it almost felt like I astral traveled somewhere else, because, but it's weird because I was here. The dream took place in my backyard, which can represent, like, dreams are very symbolic. So it's almost like that saying, like, it's happening in your backyard, like it's really close to home. That's what that saying means. So that could be what that represents. So just remember, with dreams, it is symbolic, and I'm going to explain some of the symbols that I've like figured out, basically. And if there's anything else in this dream that stands out to you, pops up, that could be what it means for you. Does that make sense? I don't know how to explain it, but regardless, it felt like I literally traveled somewhere else. Like, I don't know if it was another dimension, another time, or whatever, because when I got woken up at 3, I started choking, like I had to catch my breath. But I was fine. Like, it didn't feel like I was being choked. It was just when your breath catches in your throat, basically. Almost like, wow. And when I woke up like, bing, like just wide awake. It wasn't like, oh, I'm tired, it's 3 in the morning. I'm just like, oh, I feel like I'm completely rested for some reason. And of course, I gotta get up this morning. I'm up at 3. What the hell? But anyways, it's usually how it goes. So anyways, in the dream, I'm just gonna say it because I keep talking about ancient Egyptians and stuff. And I don't know the ins and outs of ancient Egyptian mythology and cultures and stuff. I know the basics, and that's because I picked up on things through my spiritual journey, and I'd be prompted to look it up, like a name of a deity would pop in my head, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then I'd be like, oh, or I'd see a symbol, or I was writing hieroglyphs for crying out loud, and didn't know it till I looked it up. So they've been showing me things, these deities, for a while, and at first I'm like, what? I have no clue. Well, I think I have a clue now, just saying. So, anyways, in the dream, I'm out back of my house, and it looks like it looked exactly like it looks right now after I did the rock work and whatever. And but I don't feel like this ritual was a recent thing. I don't feel like somebody did it yesterday or anything. They could have tried to do something over the full moon, this last full moon, the strawberry full moon in Sagittarius, because that was very significant. And I was prompted to protect myself, and send protection out to those I love and care about, because it wasn't just protecting me, it was protecting other people. Um, and that was done with love, but I did that ritual on the full moon. And I don't normally do things like that, but I was like, I really need to put those walls of protection up. I really need, I felt very strongly about it. And I'm not normally that, like, gotta do this kind of thing. So either someone was practicing around that time, or they were doing it during full moon cycles and phases and whatever prior, and maybe just trying to do it again or solidify whatever they were doing. But they were messing with the dead, whoever was doing this. So I'm out back, and Anubis was with me, and he's the god of the underworld. I know that in more recent mythologies, I guess, because he was the original god of the underworld, and then Osiris kind of took his place, and he's his right hand man. He's the one that basically judges you when you die. He weighs your heart against the ostrich feather, which is Mat, I believe, which stands for truth. So weighs your heart against your own truth, the truth, whatever, and that's how you face judgment. But he also oversees the embalming process and mummification process, of kings and stuff, very important people. He oversees the burial of very important people, and he also is the protector of the dead, when it comes to their final resting place. And if you desecrate, someone's final resting place, you mess with it in any way, shape, or form, if he'll send he'll send his little messengers out, which can represent demons, to handle those who are creating chaos. Basically, I have a few little blurbs that I screenshot that I might share with you guys, because it feels like it pertains to this. But regardless, that'll be towards the end. So Anubis is standing there with me, and he's like, come out here. So I followed him out, out back, and there was a mummy laying in my backyard, like on the rocks, right next to my house. So it was like happened right in my backyard, like close to home, like I said. And I'm like, okay, there's a mummy. And then there was a man with a dagger, like a pretty long knife, and he cut like his sternum open. Basically, he was on, like, kneeling down, and just like sliced it open. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? What are we watching? And I know that he oversees mummification and stuff, but that's not the process, But I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, this guy said fire. That's what he said. Like, he said it out loud, and then he took his hands and placed it inside the mummy, and it was like it lit up, like it was glowing, like he was powering something up. Because if you think about it, that's kind of what that's what fire can do. It's powerful. It can consume someone. Passion, an internal passion could have been consuming someone, but fire can be problematic. It's a fuel source, basically. So it's like trying to resurrect the dead. So I don't know if someone's trying to resurrect a dead situation, like something that's over and done with, because they're very passionate about another person, and they were doing rituals and magic to try to get somebody back or something. But regardless of their intention, he put fire in the mummy. And if you think about it, mummies represent, like, a lot of times they can represent curses. especially in new age cultures and stuff like pop culture and crap. But there's been known to be curses on placed on certain tombs and final resting places for specific kings and stuff and pharaohs and whatever in Egypt. But that's the symbolism of that. It's almost like placing a curse on someone because someone's angry, because there's a fine line between passion and anger, I'm just saying, and bad intentions. I mean, I don't know. I feel like somebody was trying to curse a situation, a person, people, something. They were messing with shit they shouldn't have messed with. And I really do feel like there was some type of graveyard magic going on with someone, because, like I said, Anubis protects people's final resting places, and he protects the dead, basically. And that's kind of what it made me feel like messing with things with things on the other side. Like, I feel like just because of someone's intentions and what they were doing, something's like getting out of hand. Because if you think about it, I'm not done with the dream yet. Like, the fire was inside the mummy, so it was contained. It's almost like this is just for one person or a group. Like, it's it's only affecting this right here. You know what I mean? Like, it's a contained problem because it had a focus. This person had a focus, or these people. Because usually with shit like that, it can take more than one person. Not always, but anyways, regardless of who, what, where, when, and why, the problem was contained. At least that's what someone thought. Well, guess what? I guess Anubis was like, mm-mm. Because then the man got up and walked away or whatever. And Anubis looked at me, and we were talking telepathically, like his mouth wasn't moving or anything. And we walked over to the mummy, and he was showing me the process, which is he would help embalmers and people, mummify the dead. Like, he was the deity that was there that was helping the whole process, like oversee it and make sure it's done properly, basically. So he was like, all right, basically we gotta undo this. Because I didn't know what I was doing at first in this dream. But I was very comfortable and calm, and I knew it wasn't bad, you know what I mean? I wasn't scared or anything. I was a little irritated watching the dude do that because I'm like, what the hell's he doing? But anyways, I I did the same. He had me do the same process. Basically, he had me. I had a different dagger though, and I cut I cut open the mummy right after that dude put the fire in there, basically. And all I heard was, because I didn't say it. Once I opened it, all I heard was air, and the fire went out. And I was like, oh, because that came from him, not from me. And then I look up and I saw a fire over here and fire over there. Like, fires were going everywhere. It wasn't like a big ring of fire. It was like problem, problem, problem. It was the contained curse, the contained problem, whatever someone's trying to keep contained, is getting sent back to the people involved, and it's spreading. That's what that represents, at least in my eyes. Because then that's when I woke up at 3 a.m. and was like, holy crap. And I was like, I gotta remember this. And I heard in my head record, mainly to remember and to share. Because this stuff is serious. People joke about it all the time, but, who's laughing now, basically, especially when they're faced with whatever those fires represent. Because I kept saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. And what's really strange about that whole dream and everything is not only all the little tidbits I picked up on here and there whenever I pick up on a warning message or certain problems and stuff. Yesterday, I kept seeing the word air. And I'm like, what air about what? Like, the air you breathe, air signs. Like, I was trying to figure it out, but I'm like, obviously it'll come to me when it's meant to, if it's meant to. But I literally saw the word air multiple times in multiple places. And I was just like, okay. And then that's what Anubis said, to put the fire out. But it was to put the fire out where it wasn't supposed to be and spread it where it should be. Like, no, 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 you were warned, kind of thing. 'Cause like I said, I prayed for protection and guidance, and I did pray. I didn't like conjure anyone up or anything like that. I was giving back to those who had already helped and protected me over time, and was asking for love, light, and protection, and whatever else. I'm not getting into details of my ritual. I've already put that on here, at least the parts that I feel like sharing, because like I said, I'm not teaching people that stuff, because it just no, that's not what this is about. But Isis and Horus, that's who I was praying to. Well, Isis is Horus's mother, but also Osiris's wife, and Osiris is technically the newer, I guess most people know him as the god of the underworld, and Anubis is his right hand man now, but Anubis was actually the god of the underworld first. But anyways, it's just like I said, when it comes to ancient Egyptian cultures and mythology and stuff, it's very synchronistic. A lot they kept some of the same gods and just kind of merged them or changed their roles over time, because that's what happens in any religion. But regardless of spirituality and religions and stuff, I saw the word air, and then that, that's what he said, and that's what spread the fire apparently. But it's almost like protecting those who were affected by the problem or the curse or whatever this is. It's like it's not around you anymore. It's around these mofos. But during that ritual on the full moon, I had that broken fishing pole. I'm like, I want to be protected from this, anyone with bad intention, and protect those I love and care about and whoever needs it, basically. Even people I don't know, as long as you're, on the right side of heaven, basically. If you're a do-gooder, you're not hurting anyone, and if anyone's out attacking you, yes, I hope protections get sent your way. But where the salt was, and the way that I set down the pole, the broken piece, on the outside of the circle, it made a symbol of a line and like a little circle underneath. And I'm like, I've seen that before. So I can't remember if I figured it out yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before. Or it was the next day after the full moon. So, yeah, it was the day before. It was on the 4th, I think. But regardless, it doesn't matter what the date was. Because I'm like looking it up, couldn't find it. And then I was like, yeah, whatever, it must not be important. And then all of a sudden, I think it was like a couple hours later, I wasn't thinking about it, and it just popped in my head. It's a zodiac sign. And I'm like, it is a symbol for a sign, isn't it? So I'm looking up all the zodiac signs, like the symbols and stuff. It's for Libra, which is an air sign. And Libra stands for justice. That's a major attribute of Libran energy. And Anubis stands for justice as well, because, that's where the scales come in when you freaking die. I'm like, what? I'm just saying, someone was doing something they shouldn't have been doing. But seriously, it blows my mind. Because I remember saying, you've been warned, like this is your final warning. And I said that like a year ago or something. So someone's been doing something for a while. It's not whatever this curse, bad intentions, doing whatever they did. Someone did something in a graveyard as well. It could have involved fire, because I feel like fire is very significant. But if you think about it, if someone's going to some sacred space, basically their final resting place, and if they removed anything from a grave, or they just took like dirt from a cemetery, if they took anything and used it as part of a ritual, that would be considered quote unquote earth, right? And then the man put fire in the mummy to fuel the curse, or to fuel the problem, to create chaos ultimately. And Anubis will protect against chaos, which is one of the snakes of the underworld anyway. So maybe someone's trying to set a bunch of, cause problems basically. And then he said air, but there was something to do with water. And I don't remember if I screenshot that one. This is when Anubis helped to judge the dead, and he and his army of messengers were charged with punishing those who violated tombs or offended the gods. So someone could have offended the gods, just saying. He was especially concerned with controlling the impulses of those who sought to sow disorder or align themselves with chaos. So it's almost like if someone was trying to control another person or a situation, Anubis is sending energy out to control them. A lot of chaos is going to show up in certain people's lives and they're not even going to know where it came from. But it had something to do with water that I read. I can't remember. A story recorded in the first millennium BCE tells how the wicked god Set disguised himself as a leopard to approach the body of Osiris. This doesn't have anything to do with the water I was talking about because I can't remember what that was. But earth, air, fire, water is what I was getting at, which is what you use for magical practices and stuff. It's all the elements. I don't know if air was just symbolizing, spreading of a problem, like, yeah, it ain't contained no more because F you, or if there's an air sign involved, so there could be some air signs involved in the situation as well, or someone has strong air in their chart. It just feels like justice to me is what it is, like the scales are balancing. But what's weird here, because it said the wicked god Set disguised himself as a leopard to approach the body of Osiris, because that's Osiris's brother, and Set's the one that killed him. It had to do with an affair or crap. But anyways, we're not getting into all of that. Where was I going with this? Oh, when people were leading me around and stuff, this one happened a while ago. I still have it actually. They were leaving twisted teacaps and crap too, because they have little sayings in them. And at one of the places, which was the Legion, where a lot of the connections are there and a lot of the problems, a lot of the shit I found was either there or close by. And someone had left a cap that said jaguar. I know jaguars and leopards are different, but it's just kind of ironic that the wicked god, so someone who's not so good, no, disguise himself as a leopard, and I get a thing that says jaguar, so someone's disguising themselves, like, because I kept saying someone's acting like the martyr, but they're really the traitor. So there's someone who smiles to your face and stabs you in the back, basically. He was seized by Anubis and branded all over his body with hot iron. Well, that dude in the dream put fire in the mummy, I'm just saying. This, according to Egyptian myth, is how the leper got its spots. Anubis then flayed Set and wore his bloody skin as a warning to evildoers. By this era, Anubis was said to command an army of demon messengers who inflicted suffering and death. I guess he's not one to be messed with, just saying. Because that was the original lore about him before, like, that's kind of how he transitioned into the Osiris era, I guess you could say. But anyways, yeah, someone's up Schitt's Creek without a freaking paddle. They really are. Yeah, because something's reversed. But that's weird. That looks like a flower. I threw that out. Shit. I was out in the garage and I heard get a pen and paper. So I was just, I don't know, I was writing things down. And one of the things I wrote was, like, crap, something's over, or it's over now. Like, something's done and over with. You're screwed now. Someone used someone's hair as well. So there's definitely ritualistic crap in there because I wrote down something to do with hair. But I drew a dock, a flag, and flowers. But they were like sunflowers or daisies or something. And course, this is going to flip around if I... Because I move this all around. Like at first, okay, it doesn't look like an upside down flower, even with the little squiggly things right there. That looks like the leaf, the stem, and kind of like a sunflower. Oh, sunflower. Something's upside down. Well, this is upside down. Now my sunflower's upside down. But regardless, originally I had that pole across there, and it was before I had drawn that stuff or doodled in it or whatever, and it just was a circle. I never took a picture of that, but yesterday I was drawing flowers by a dock. So I'm going to do it flowers. If someone plant flowers, or flowers are significant for some reason. But if you think about it too, it could have something to do with Leo, because there's a sunflower sitting right there. Regardless of what the flowers are, you bring flowers to funerals, to gravestones, things like that. Actually, there's a sunflower. There's some sunflowers at my grandfather's stone. They're the fake ones. I think that's what I brought. Or were they already there? What is the significance with the sunflowers? I don't know. But anyways, maybe somebody just really loves them. But it feels like it has something to do with the flowers you leave on a gravestone or something. To memorialize someone, because I had no bad intent with anything I left there. I love my grandfather, even though I never met him in person. I've just known him on the other side, basically. Yeah, of course. I don't know. There's something weird with that. I don't know what the hell that's about, but whatever that means to you. And if it's supposed to make sense, it will later on. Just saying. I don't know. Flowers are significant. And it doesn't just feel like fake flowers and stuff. It's like real flowers. Planting flowers, spreading flowers, sharing flowers, giving flowers. Something to do with freaking flowers. But yeah, that was that dream I had. And it just... I don't know, it felt very profound, and with every little detail, like if you've been following me for a minute listening to warning messages, maybe because they pertain to you as well, or, you just heard those little details, I guess that's what's leading up to. So expect problems to come for the problem. So if anyone's a problem, especially if you were part of something to do with rituals and stuff you don't understand, or just bad intentions, because it's like messing with someone, a very important person, because you never know their soul lineage. You can't judge a book by its cover. You know what I mean? So it's like someone who might not seem that important in this life could have been very important in a past life. You know what I mean? Like even throughout history. Whether they're a beggar on the street or they're Donald Trump, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what your life is right now. It's that old soul energy, and someone comes from, I don't know, they got some pretty amazing roots, I'm just going to say, like soul-wise, and you're being protected because, like I said, Anubis was there to protect kings and pharaohs, very important people. Yeah, there's some people who have addictions in this, who are doing who are pulling some BS, basically. But anyways, I'm gonna call this one, because I just wanted to share that. But I don't know, I just mind blown. I had so much more written down too, but I don't know, it must not be important right this second. I had to get that dream part out. I don't know, it's all coming together. Oh, because what I was going to say right quick was, because I said the fires contain, the problems contain, and then when he said air, just, I guess, it got returned to sender, basically. And these people don't even realize it's happening yet. I almost feel like, haha, yeah, right. And then all of a sudden their lives are going to fall to crap. And it's going to happen in different ways for different people. So it's not like, oh, a literal fire. You know what I mean? That just represents the problem. Like, you want to fuel this up? Poop, there you go. But anyways, I had a dream not a long time ago, like a couple years ago or something. I shared it on here where there were multiple people's homes were catching on fire. Like, I think it was my sister's home. This was in the dream, so it could represent a sibling. But it was, I can't remember. So it was like one person's house, then another person's house, then my home, and then someone else's. It was something like that. It was either 3 or 4 places, and part of the problem was actually at my house in that dream. But I mean, what was done in the dream that I just had was out back my house, and I don't know, there's no fires in my house anymore, just saying. At least per the dream. But anyways, I love you guys, and thanks for listening. I'll be back with more readings. This is just I don't know, it's just a whole little, what a WTF moment. You know what I'm saying? I love you guys. Peace.